Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to our latest episode of the Stuff and Things podcast. We are talking She-Hulk episode 7 today. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the latest episode is my usual partner in crime, it's Stefan.
Yo!
How you doing, my friend?
I'm not too bad. How are you, sir?
I am okay. It's good that you opened the show with a lie. You're not well, are you?
No, I'm
you've
not
got a
feeling-
sickness bug.
I've got a bit of a sickness bug, so if at any point during the show, Sam or Kaylee ask me a question and there's a silence, it's because I've muted and run.
I would much prefer the silence than hearing okay, and I think so. Yes, thank you. So firstly, thank you for being here. You're
That's
a soldier. Okay. You're a hero.
I've got to rep my favourite Marvel Disney Plus show, haven't I? I've got to be here to rep it.
It's true, actually. Yeah. Yes, you did say this is your absolute favourite, and we'll get to that. But also joining us again, the lady of Marvel herself, the superfan, it's Kaylee.
Hello.
And how are you today, Angel? Are you well?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Now, and is that real? Because he said he was okay, and I knew that was a lie. But are you all right?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you.
Good. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. So we are talking about She-Hulk. We are talking season 1, episode 7. Stefan, the title of the episode was
The Retreat.
Yes, The Retreat. No surrender.
Yes.
Talking in general terms, before we get stuck into this episode and She-Hulk, we've had a development in our podcast this week. That development is we have added something which has made us well, cool, and down with the kids, yo. And that is a Discord.
Yeah, we do.
I still don't know what that is. So, Stefan, would you like to share with the lovely listeners of this podcast, of who there are many, what the hell that is, how they can get involved, and all the fun stuff like that? And I will say, before you do this, in the podcast description this week, so wherever you're looking at us, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, wherever, in the podcast description will be a link to our Discord if you want to join us.
Nice.
Stefan, do some selling.
So we have a Discord channel here at Stuff and Things Podcast. We are already into double digits of joiners without really promoting it at all, which is quite impressive. So the idea of our Discord server is just so that all our listeners can get together. We can build one big community of listeners and people who enjoy the same things as we do. So there's stuff on there for Marvel, The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and then our others, which are Umbrella Academy, Stranger Things, The Boys, and more shows. We're talking about doing a couple more shows next year as well. They will be added onto the list as well. It's basically just a place where we can all get together and share fun theories, things you might have spotted during an episode, and it also gives you guys, the listeners, another easy way to get in touch with not only each other but with us. So if there are certain things you want mentioned in a podcast, you can always give us a mention on that, let us know, and we can kind of bring you into the conversation on there as well.
Bring you into the conversation. Wow. It's like you're a professional. That was really good.
I know, the old sales marketing background every now and again pops up.
Yeah, no, that was wow. I was sat here thinking I want to join. This is really good, but I'm on there.
You're already one of our presenters. Yes.
Yeah, I am on there. I am on there, and I'm looking at it right now. Actually, I still don't get it. It reminds me of a chat room.
Basically,
back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it now. I'm going to go to She-Hulk because that's the show we're talking about today. So, hashtag She-Hulk. And we have various people in here. Let's have a look. Let's see who's been in here. So, Ryan's been in there. Hey, Ryan. We have Becky. Hello, Becky. Holly. Hello, Holly. Ryan again. Hey, Ryan.
And Lucy.
And Lucy, who's lucky. Lucy, why are you lucky? You got to let me know. Actually,
Lucy,
as long as it's
she's the one
PG,
that's she's giving you crap on the Stranger Things one, so we like Lucy.
Oh, is she? Is that who that is it? Right, I'm loading that one now. See, I just wanted to talk about She-Hulk, 'cause that's the show, but no, you've ruined it now. Hang on,
No.
where am
But
I
no,
going? Stranger Things.
It's hopefully a place where all the listeners can get involved.
She is giving me crap on it. How do you ban people?
We have a moderator
All
for
right.
that. Don't worry, it's okay.
All right, okay. Well, yeah, I'll deal with that later on. Okay, so yeah, you can join us. You can join the conversation. You can also get in touch all the other ways as well. So don't feel like you have to do one or the other or whatever. You can be everywhere. You can email. You can send messages to the social media. You can join us on Discord. The one thing about Discord is obviously you are speaking directly to us and we answer in fairly real time. Or at least I
Even
try to.
Kaylee can use it.
Kaylee set it up really quickly. I was impressed, actually.
I
Yeah,
like to talk to people, Sam. Come on.
yeah. I'm trying to keep up. Right. Anyway, right. So that said, big thank you to everyone who's already signed up. If you're listening and you fancy that, do get involved. So, She-Hulk season 1, episode 7, The Retreat. Speaking in general terms about this episode, Kaylee, I'm going to go to you to start with. What were your overall impression of this week's installment?
I think the two words that sum it up quite nicely for me is that it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, if I'm honest.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, stay there because I'm going to come back to you on that because I think perhaps your perspective is going to be unique to mine and possibly his. Stefan,
Hello.
Your overall feelings on this week's installment.
I'm going to throw a very unpopular opinion out there.
Okay.
This was actually a really good episode and actually had a lot more in it than what people are saying with the whole, with another filler episode. I think there was actually a lot of information and a lot of development in this episode, and I thought it was really quite good.
Wow. This is a unique situation I feel myself in. Okay, all right. Now, are you just saying that because Kaylee sort of said the emotional roller coaster thing, so you feel like you can't really argue with her?
No, genuinely, I was watching this and all the development of Jen's character through this episode. I was like, this is what we needed. We needed her to kind of get that self-development and realise that she's not just She-Hulk. She is her own person still. And yeah, so I actually think big development happened in this episode.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's certainly not what I was expecting, but thank you. So, Kaylee, I will come back to you on this then, because I wanted to sort of get his perspective before you said anything. Emotional roller coaster. Why did you feel the emotional roller coaster with this one?
I think so much happened. If you watch it, it's quite, it can appear to be quite a superficial episode. But when you actually pay attention to everything that's happened, I went from, to mad, to confused, to crying with laughter, to absolutely livid, and that was brilliant. And it is they really leaned into that sitcom format, and I really enjoyed it. And I felt a bit wrung out at the end, and it's really good to see that they haven't just gone, she's had this, self-revelation, and we fixed all of her emotional issues and worries in one episode, because that's not real life, is it? Come on. No. So I liked that was a bit drawn out, and it finally came to a head in a really, really good way yesterday. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. I think on last week's show, one of the conversations we were having was around this guy Josh. Yeah. The conversation was basically, the guy met her at a wedding, and we were like, I always have that suspicion. And I kept saying in the show, I think it's just me. I think it's because I watch too many shows. I'm a bit jaded. Someone shows up and they appear to be too good to be true. So just to be clear, I was right. Yeah. Just so everyone knows it. Just to say it really clearly. What a piece of shit. So let's run through it. Sort of start with the show. Kind of opens with a bit of a montage of Jen dating Josh. Mm-hmm. The montage was kind of cute and kind of funny. anyone who's been in the dating game at all possibly recognised several moments in that. I went, oh yeah, cringe, yeah. Oh, that moment at the door, that's always a fun one.
Hug, handshake, kiss. Oh, what do we do? I'm going to go for the handshake. You're going to go for the hug. Oh, this is not good.
That made me laugh. That has got to be one of the sort of I have no idea what to do moments ever at the end of a date. Because have you ever seen the film? It's a Will Smith film called Hitch.
Yeah, love that film.
Love that film. And he kind of does like a tutorial on it. Like if she gets to the door and she's messing around with keys, people who just want to go, they get their keys out and they go in the house. You know. So ever since then, I was kind of like, oh, that's decent. That's good to know. And so I'm kind of like watching this little montage thing, and there's that moment where she literally goes like, bye then, and goes in the house and then realises what she's done and sort of goes back and he's already left. Yeah. But yeah, that did, it was a fair few things there that I thought was kind of sweet, kind of funny. It didn't change my mind though. I was still watching that thinking, it doesn't feel right for this show that this guy is just going to be her love interest. It just didn't feel that was the way it was going to go.
Something felt off. Even though we're watching like this cutie kind of montage, in my head, even out loud to my wife, I was still like, he's not good. He's going to be up to something.
Well, I said it on the podcast last week, and I stand by it. I still kind of caveated that to myself when I'm watching it, going, yeah, but that's probably just me. It's probably just me having watched far too many films, far too many TV shows.
Whenever you meet someone new, they're a bad guy.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, you just shoot them now. You know, someone new rocks up, don't even take a chance. So, yeah, I was kind of like, the montage thing kind of finished. They slept together, and he's gone in the morning. Now, straight away from me, I was kind of like, okay, this guy's just vanished. He's not like he had to get up early, go to work, left a note. He's not like, you know, the guy's just vanished and left her, one night stand style.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, she messaged him saying, oh, I can't stop smiling. I'm thinking, really, is that... Like, if I woke up and that person was just gone, I'm not sure I'd be messaging them kind of like, oh, what an amazing... It would be like, where the f*** have you gone?
Yeah.
Is that just me? Kaylee bringing you in here?
No, we've all been there.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I think I felt that, and there was a part of me that just really, really, really wanted him to go, oh, sorry. Yeah. I had a meeting, or I've got nothing, or I've lost my phone. I was hoping for that the whole way through, but I knew it wasn't coming.
But like that moment, like when she wakes up and she goes into her kitchen, she sends him the message and stuff. I'm kind of like, wouldn't it be, you know, the sitcom walks through the door with breakfast. Oh, I just went out to get us breakfast, and you're kind of like, yay! Yeah, he is a nice guy.
They had to explore that kind of texting etiquette, didn't they? Because it sits so well within the theme of that whole relationship and what she's been through. I thought that was quite clever, actually.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of like the second, not really a montage, but a second kind of montage is her waiting on him to reply. Yeah. And the emotion, kind of just the raw, like she goes into work, she can't focus. She can't do anything but stare at her phone. You know, her paralegals there saying to her, like, come on, put the thing down. He could be in a meeting. He could be a million things. Just, like, focus on what you're doing.
Jen, I hope he's all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. He could be at a funeral. He better be at all of them. And there is a line in there, though, which I'm not sure if it was throwaway or not, but a paralegal points out that she's been nominated for Female Lawyer of the Year.
Yeah.
That kind of feels like that's going to come up. That kind of, it, you know, it was a very specific thing pointed out in amongst her being distracted. She also says to her about, oh, you know, you're not obsessing over that website, are you? And she's like, no. You know, people can say what they like. But yeah, she is obsessing about this message. We see her go from Friday to Saturday, you know, Sunday, and eventually she gets a phone call. She obviously jumps up hoping it's him. It's not. It's the parole officer for Blonsky. Yeah. His inhibitor's malfunctioning. The guy needs to go up there. He hasn't got the manpower to send a team, and he's kind of like, please, can you come with me? Because you're his lawyer, and also you're a Hulk.
Yeah.
It's a weird kind of thing again here, where she's basically being contacted for help, not as Jen. So once again, like, she's obviously waiting for a call from Josh. She's obviously just like desperate for that. But then in that moment again, it's like this constant reminder that Jen's not enough.
Yep.
That this guy's like, oh, you know, what better to take with me than a Hulk? Not his lawyer. It's, you know, who better? And I think she says it herself, actually. Well, if he's potentially in trouble with his parole officer, then maybe his lawyer should be there anyway.
Yeah.
Kaylee, what did you think about the drive up, checking her phone, singing Umbop?
I question. I've done that. You know, we've all had the drive when you're waiting for something and you're distracted and you have your music blaring.
Yep.
I question the music choice. I would normally go for something like Linkin Park that I can scream along to in that scenario. But Umbop, when, you know, it works for Jen.
Yeah. I like that. I'd question the music choice. It should be something more hateful towards men. Was that? Yeah. Some people who are angry at their dads really shouting about it. Stefan, have you ever taken a drive singing along to Umbop?
Many times, but without having the distraction of a phone. That's just me in the car.
No, just singing along to Umbop.
That's just me singing to the radio. Yeah.
Umbop, dude, but yeah. I mean, it's impossible not to sing along to that song. It's amazing.
It's a great song.
It's ridiculously catchy. So we have that moment. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, you're still feeling really sorry for her. She arrives at Blonsky's retreat, and this for me is like where this kind of episode takes a really squiff, kind of strange turn for me. Not so much, not in a negative way, but just kind of like she gets there, she has a conversation with Blonsky about his favorite chicken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's okay, fair enough. You've turned the Abomination into a complete comedy character, which is funny. It is funny to me. That is funny. But he's like, that's okay. And then we get to meet Manbull and El Aguera and eventually Saracen and Porcupine.
Yeah. What a selection of people.
I'm just watching it like, what the am I watching? I'm confused.
I like that. It's a merry mob of weirdos. Up my street.
It is a merry mob of weirdos.
Like that, you know. It was like watching us on the screen.
Whoa! Wait a. All right, Kaylee. Who's who?
I don't know. I just from a weirdness point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Moving
right.
on.
Yeah. Dig yourself out of that hole, Stefan. If you were to pick one of those characters that you think Kaylee is, who would you choose?
A porcupine at the moment, because that was proper pricky, that wasn't it?
That was. Yeah, hide under your armor.
I was due. Come on.
No, well, I'm gonna load up some Coldplay, sit in a corner, and rock backwards and forwards for a minute while I recover from that. But Stefan, while I'm doing that, give me your impression of these, because they are characters from the comics. Let's just make sure that's clear. They are actually Marvel characters. They're obviously, from my point of view, they're obviously characters that Marvel don't intend to make big into the MCU at any point, and they're kind of being introduced into this. We're seeing all the way through this show an continuation of the Ms. Marvel theme of there are just lots and lots of people who have abilities and powers now in this Earth, you know. So, Stefan, what's your thoughts on the people we meet? What's your thoughts on the scenes that happen and Blonsky? Where's your head on this?
See, I really enjoyed it. I watched it as a pure entertainment thing, which also had this nice kind of nod to the comics. Like you say, I can assume that people like Manbull and Saracen and Porcupine, they're not going to be, Disney Plus's show 2024, it's Saracen and Manbull. You know, I can't see them getting their own shows, but there are so many characters in the comics that it's kind of nice that they're giving like this little nod to, almost as if to say, yeah, look, we know there's a lot of characters out there, they're not all going to make it, but here's a little reference to them, or here's a little bit of them. I think Blonsky kind of, the fact that he was the Abomination, like this giant raging monster, and he's now kind of like, "I'ma stay. You will sit here and go sit in the peaceful corner and relax yourself," and all this. And he's kind of had this complete turnaround. I'm really thinking quite amusing.
Yeah, it is.
And the fact
if it's genuine, of course.
If it's genuine, of course. And the fact that he's kind of there helping everyone else with their identity crisis and how to deal with things and running this retreat, which actually turned out to be a retreat that did a lot more potentially for Jen than she ever would have expected.
Yeah, do you think seeing the characters Manbull, Saracen, El Iguala, Porcupine, the character Wrecker, of course, who we'll come on to, do you think the odds of us ever seeing Squirrel Girl has increased?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
There's now potential.
Yeah. In the comic book, she does kick people and say, between the legs and shout, "Got these nuts." Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I want to see it even more now.
Okay, I thought you would, yeah. Squirrel Girl, MCU future confirmed. So, Kaylee, I'm going to come to you basically the same question. I mean, it's like you just said, you're happy with the kind of crazy-ass characters we're seeing. What were your overall thoughts on sort of the brief introduction to them and everything that was going on with Blonsky at the compound?
Yeah, I think bringing that group together, as a group of outcasts, and, it was obvious that Jen would eventually at some point kind of relate to them or connect with them in some way, which we see later on. So that was really nice. I think I didn't know who Manbull was until this episode. I'd never seen him before. Nope. And I immediately kind of felt sorry for him, which is weird. But he said, I'm a lab experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute, but obviously we know he's not. And Saracen as well. I did know who he was. And I think these people have been brought in on purpose. These aren't just random sort of side characters from the comics, that they've just plucked out of thin air. I think when you look at them individually, you can actually start to see, I don't think we'll see them, but there's links to them. So you've got the vampire type, that's Blade. You've got the one that's linked to Daredevil. You've got the Matador guy linked to X-Men. So I think that's probably quite a clever nod to that, rather than we're going to see these people all the time. But I actually really enjoyed that because I want to see more of those. And I thought by this point we would have seen more, given the kind of format of the show. And I kind of had a different expectation in terms of, it's going to be every episode will be different. It'll be a different case, more kind of legal action, I guess.
Yeah, that was my expectation.
Yeah, so it's quite nice to actually see a couple of these lesser known characters, because quite frankly, if it was the same sort of 10 that we know, it'd get really boring.
Yeah,
but I thought it was good, and I think that their perspective on life was quite interesting. And I've got to say, Manbull and El Aguila gave me massive Howard and Raj from Big Bang Theory. I absolutely felt that, and I thought that was brilliant.
Absolute codependent. It was funny. Now, did either of you spot the glaring mistake in the episode?
No.
Stefan, are you still with us?
Enlighten us.
Okay, you are good. Jen, when she arrives at the compound, starts complaining she has no signal. She holds her Apple iPhone up and says, "Look, nothing," and data and everything switched off on the iPhone.
Oh,
that would be why.
No way. Oh, Jen, you're meant to be a lawyer. Come on.
Switch your data back on. It's something that everyone. Now, with mistakes in things, people, there's two ways typically that goes. People pick up and like, "Oh, you should be better than this," and angry. And then this one appears to be people just having fun with it, which is kind of like, Jen, come on now. So that was, it was a pretty bad mistake in terms of a simple edit, but at the same time, it ain't the end of the world. So... But yes, that was a glaring omission. Anyone who didn't notice it, go back and watch it. I did, and it's there. So, you're right about the characters, and not so much we're going to see them in particular, those characters, perhaps. We may well see them continue in She-Hulk in some guys, but I think the way they've picked them from certain places does appear to be a nod. I think that's a good shout.
I can see them all getting together, like the season finale. We finally meet the big bad, and She-Hulk's maybe taking a bit of a beating, and all of a sudden, this group of the Misfits, as we just got called by Kaylee, appear and save the day, sort of thing. And there's Manball and Saracen trying to save her, and Porcupine. And did you think when Porcupine took his mask off, they made this real music build up, and I was sat there going, "Oh my god, who's he gonna be? Who's it gonna be? It's some random guy with a big beard." Okay,
that's exactly why they did that.
Bastards.
That was exactly why they knew that everybody would be thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be someone. Listen to the music. This is gonna be. Oh, I wonder if it's gonna be Matt Murdock, but as Porky, this is gonna be crazy." Oh no, it's just some.
It might be Josh.
Stinks.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah, no. This guy just stinks. Whoever he is,
literally. When was the last time you took that thing to be washed?
When was the last time you watched that suit, dude? What the hell? So it's an intriguing thing. So I want to put something to both of you. I'll go to you in turn, Stefan. I'll start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Blonsky. Blonsky was a special forces soldier, very violent, very dedicated, very determined individual.
Yep.
He has the Exo Facto's kind of like a serum version in him, which can turn him into the Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
He seems over time in prison to have mastered the ability to when he's able to do that. I'm guessing certain things could provoke it again, a bit like Bruce Banner being provoked into the Hulk, as was. But he seems to have it under control, seems very zen. Are you buying it?
Now, I was going to leave this till the end of the episode, but you brought it up, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Are we being led down the garden path a bit here? And, his tracker's gone off. Oh, I touched the electric fence getting my chicken back.
Yeah.
The princess had escaped. And when he said that, there was just this little part of me that was like, oh my god, Blonsky's actually going to be one of the big bad guys in this show, and we are being led up to this. And then there's going to be some big reveal or something, and actually it turns out that Blonsky's been kind of running the whole operation without getting his hands dirty.
Oh, that has occurred to me. Kaylee, what do you think?
So going back to that moment, I actually went a different route with it, with the inhibitor. And I looked at it from obviously this is something that's been created in the past by Bruce, and it's something that he's used, this inhibitor type device. It now seems to be being used by government officials. Yeah. So are they now using this as an official tool to control anybody that might have a mutation or some kind of power? And is it becoming, a restrictor for them as a kind of small step to start controlling and managing this?
Well,
I went a bit darker with it, maybe.
Well, I think perhaps both theories don't necessarily have to exclude the other, because in the X-Men comics, there's an inhibitor, they put it around the neck.
Yeah.
And the way this inhibitor, it feels the same. It feels like an ankle bracelet rather than around the neck, but it's still doing the same thing.
Deadpool 2, when he goes into the prison, it's the same. It's the collar, isn't it?
It's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's the collar. Yeah, you're exactly right. So that is something which is Marvel used, and it's a tool used by people who are fearful of mutants. Obviously, in this universe, it'd be fearful of anyone with any sort of ability, any sort of power.
Yeah.
It would not be a surprise if the DODC are the ones who are utilizing it. Yeah. Bruce developed it, and I imagine he'd be pretty pissed if his technology was being used this way. Expanded upon to become like an enforcement thing. So that could be an interesting arc to discover, to explore in the future, sorry.
Yeah, I think
but
right.
with regards to Blonsky, I'm kind of like you. It just felt a little bit... It could be take it at face value, which is just that his character is now purely kind of comic relief in a way, which is fine. It's funny, and it's the guy talking about his favourite chicken. When he's walking with Jen, he does see a chicken and call it beautiful. So maybe that one's his favourite. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
It is funny. He doesn't... he does... The thing that, again, kind of triggered me on this was the guy being there called Wrecker. Now, this guy was one of the crew that attacked Jen. She recognises him, hulks out, grabs him. She has to go sit in the calm down corner or whatever the hell. But
she launches this guy into the perfectly stacked chairs.
Into the perfectly stacked chairs, yeah. But that, I mean, to be honest with you, that I felt that was a legit reaction. Her comment of, a group of guys jumping a woman on her own, like, yeah, absolutely. She had every right to go and knock his face in. And he's there acting all zen, acting all, sorry, I found myself in that situation and now I'm here and I'm learning about myself. And, he's the one who kind of taps into her a little bit when they're all sat around talking about, delete this guy's number, get away from it and all this stuff. And I'm sort of looking at it. And again, this is possibly just me I've watched too much TV, too many movies. But I'm like, well, you've got Blonsky, who historically is the Hulk's nemesis. You've got him in this situation where he's got released. You could say he's there creating a harem, a kind of helping people, or he's building an army.
Yeah.
You can look at it, bro, and the fact that one of the henchmen who attacked her is there, I don't know, it just felt kind of...
It made something stand up a bit. Yeah, it was kind of like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, they do have this big talk and they do have this breakthrough. Kaylee, I'll bring you in on this. What were your thoughts when they were going for that? And she kind of shrinks down from being She-Hulk to being Jen. What were your thoughts on that scene?
I think it was needed. It goes back to that, you can't just mention these things in passing. You need to explore them a bit more. Yeah. And they do that really well with this. And, the best friend comparison, we've all been there. I really felt that. Yeah. But I think she needed to get back to that original question that she had, can you have powers and still need a normal life? She was adamant in the beginning that, it's just a thing that I've got now and I can do. Yeah. It's not going to take it over. But actually the whole season is around her, that reconciliation between her two selves. Yeah. And I think it was done really well, and it was funny, and it was, give you a warm feeling, but was also a bit like on the, Yeah. But I don't like how that guy turned up and there was no real explanation behind it.
Yeah, that's
like he's just there.
Yeah, it's like so he was, and also the other thing that kind of bothered me is, why did you attack me? Seems to be the most obvious question in the world.
Yeah.
And if he's there and he's truly rehabilitating everything, it would have been, well, someone paid me.
Yep.
But like to me, that's not explored at all. And after the initial anger, for example, if you're going to accept, like, okay, I'm calm now, I'm not going to tear his head off, but dude, it was a group of men attacking a woman on her own. Why would you do that if you're saying that you're this good guy, really?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, well, it didn't feel... it just, that would have been a natural thing. Like, I can't imagine anyone not wanting to ask that question. And I know it's a TV show, and I know asking that question would have revealed, well, it's because of this.
This guy here, who is then to be the big bad guy, paid me to do it. Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he paid me. Whoa, did he really?
Yeah, he points at Blonsky. He told me to do it. Yeah. What? Oh.
Yeah, and that kind of bothered me. Not bothered me to the point I was like, this show's stupid, but just kind of like, that bugged me. Surely you would ask.
I went down the same sort of route, and I don't know if Kaylee will feel the same, but it was like you say, she doesn't ask the obvious question, but then accepts his advice about, be the best you, Jen. Delete his number. And she kind of like just goes into this acceptance of, yeah, you're right, I'll do that. But again, without kind of having that whole... Why can I trust you? You jumped me in the street as a woman walking home.
I mean, it's a valid point. I mean, Kaylee, me and him can talk about this all day long, but if a guy in a group of guys tried to beat you up and mug you, do you think you'd be happily sat down next to him taking his advice a week later?
Absolutely not. No way.
It's kind of a weird thing.
But it shows Jen's naivety, I think, and that was the point of that, I think, to show that actually, yes, I am a She-Hulk and I am, pretty strong and green, but I'm also Jen, who is naive and wants to see the best of everyone and be nice and move on from these issues.
Do you feel that also now she is a Hulk, she feels a sense of invulnerability? So what I mean by that is, like, she doesn't feel like anything can hurt her now. So this guy sat next to her who attacked her previously. She sat there feeling safe. A woman who was not a Hulk would not want to be in the same room as that guy.
Yeah.
No, she's got an extra layer of confidence and protection, hasn't she? I wouldn't. Yeah. I'd run to the hills because I'm a wimp. But if I was She-Hulk, absolutely. Yeah. You know.
And this is where I go on to where we say about this character showing a lot of development in this episode, because in this episode we kind of see the two different sides. Like you just said there, she sat there as She-Hulk next to this guy that attacked her, and you can tell she sat there like, yeah, I'm She-Hulk, I'm bulletproof, whatever. But at the same time in this episode, we also see She-Hulk get really emotional when talking about the whole She-Hulk, the best friend that gets everything, compared to Jen. And we also see, at the same time, we see just how vulnerable she is, at the same time as being almost indestructible. And that's where I kind of think the development was, of her kind of learning that I need to let Jen be as bulletproof as She-Hulk is. I need to stop letting everything get to Jen and, poor Jen, just Jen. She's kind of learning in this episode that she needs to stop the whole just Jen, poor Jen attitude and take the She-Hulk confidence and attitude and kind of put that into Jennifer Walters.
Okay.
That's how I took it. I could have got it completely wrong. But
no, I really like that, because, like, me personally, and this is going to probably not land with you guys because, you know, you're not a woman, but for me, my version of She-Hulk is, for example, my makeup. You know, when I've got my makeup on, I feel invincible. When I'm not, I feel like a troll and I'll hide away from everyone. That's the kind of comparison that, you know, we would take from that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I can confirm without makeup she's a troll as well, by the way. Just so everyone's aware.
Makeup, filters.
She is talking crap. She's absolutely stunning. You know, when she just said that a minute ago about the best friend, she was that friend. All of her mates are watching She-Hulk going, oh yeah, I remember her. That was a girl called Kaylee. We went to school with her. She was the one. And she's far too modest to say it. Far too modest. Whereas I'm not that modest. I was that guy. I was the one. All my mates were like, I hate being around him. All the women go to him all the time. It's a nightmare. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's what it is.
No, see, for me, it's the little brothers for me. That was the problem.
Little brother?
My little brother. I've got 4 brothers.
Yeah.
2 different sides of the family, but I've got 4 brothers.
Yeah.
I've got 5 brothers, but I'm talking about 4 of them. And 4 of them are all like really athletic, really sporty.
Yeah.
One of them actually trained with Max Whitlock, the gymnast.
Yeah.
He trained with him in gymnasts and could have gone further if he could have been bothered. My other brother on the other side, he was going for Team GB athletics, 100 and 200 metres at uni and stuff like that. My brothers are like the ultimate sporty people. I absolutely love sports. Yeah, I'm overweight and quite slow. Yeah. So I can kind of understand that theory. Yeah.
The whole kind of like stood next to someone looking at them going, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. There's a picture of me at my wedding in my waistcoat stood next to all my brothers, and I'm like, oh, man. Who brought the Michelin Man to the party? Jeez, come on.
No, come on. Someone's doing the thing now. Come on.
I've got for sympathy.
Enough
we
now.
have a Discord. I want sympathy.
Enough now.
No.
Please head to Discord and tell him how handsome he is.
I'd be very nice, that would, wouldn't it? No. But no, I completely understand like what you guys are saying, especially like with Jen and what Kate said about the makeup and stuff like that. Yeah, I get where that can be kind of related to as real life as well.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to think because
I understood with contour. Just throwing that out there.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, I've not tried it. Yeah, but it's kind of funny that you said that about that. But the only thing I can possibly say to relate that is when like if you do like Halloween party, dress up party, or anything like that, and you're putting something on, it's kind of like you're becoming a character for the evening.
Yeah.
and this is going to sound something like, and this is going to sound a little bit, this is going deep now, this is going Dr. Phil time. But anyone who knows me in real life will know I'm a slightly different person than the one I am on a podcast. On a podcast, I'm me turned up a little bit, like I dialed up. I'm not like that. No, I'm far.
We all do this.
Yeah, I'm far quieter. I mean, Kaylee is a Bristolian troll. I mean, and on this, glamorous, sounds incredible. Me, like, it's just me, but dialed up. But I'm not the same. Like, so the Discord thing, for example, which we talked about, I'm finding that a little bit. I'm finding that odd. Like, I'm interacting with people.
Vulnerable?
Yeah, I
yeah.
really do.
Podcast Sam, or you Sam?
Yeah, and like, because Sam says some stuff that should never go on a podcast. Let's be really clear.
Oh, it's so
mostly
true.
Just my language.
That's so true.
Just mostly my language, and I'm kind of. Yeah, I'm like, oh, someone said something on there yesterday, and I nearly replied and went, no, delete that. Do not say that. And I just, yeah, so I'm finding that difficult. I'm finding that really odd. So if we get lots and lots of people on there, talk to each other, and I'll just vanish. I don't want to be on there anymore. I'm scared. Back to She-Hulk quickly before I reveal any more deep, dark secrets about myself. One of the things we talked about the last couple of episodes is the absence of the after credits. And that is continued despite at the outset of the show, we were going to get one every episode. They said that. So, yeah. Very odd. We discussed it, maybe they've changed some edits. But each episode, I've identified a scene which feels like an after credit. 2 episodes ago, Daredevil's helmet.
Yep.
Last episode, there was something else.
This episode exactly the same. Yep.
The 3 days earlier scene, to me, felt like an after credit.
It's really strange the way they're doing it. I don't quite... It's almost like in the editing room, someone forgot to insert the clip of credits first. Because they're so obviously after credit scenes.
Because the show ends, doesn't it? Like, her kind of revelation, everything, is like a natural end.
Yeah, she's in the
and
truck,
then we get the
driving home. Yeah.
Yeah, we get this really lovely, like, natural end to the episode where I'm sat there expecting it to be, here come the titles.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be an after credit, and then I got the 3 days earlier. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this in here then. So we got the 3 days earlier thing. We see him getting up out of bed. Before anything else happens, and you just see him getting up, Stefan, I'll start with you.
Yep.
Did you think you're going to see him get snatched or something? Or did you instantly think bad guy?
I instantly thought bad guy, hoped snatched.
Okay, Kaylee, what about you?
What did I think? I was kind of hoping that he'd got snatched. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want him to be a bad guy. I really don't.
No. See, she's such a hopeful person. It's lovely.
Yeah. No,
so the next thing, yeah. So straight away, we see his phone is on her phone and he's cloning everything from her phone.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
That's Stark tech.
I was going to say, yeah, that's some high level technology right there.
That literally in the MCU, we've seen that several times from Tony Stark.
Yep.
That is literally Stark tech. Now we know Stark tech all got taken in by the DODC.
Yep.
Is the big bad actually going to turn out to be the government, the DODC?
It's been kind of hinted at in a previous... So, in Spider-Man No Way Home... Far From Home? The third one.
Yeah.
It's
No Way Home.
No, it is No Way Home, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I get really confused there. And then we see them
Homecoming. No, wait.
No, that's the fourth one. No, I don't know.
Home Alone.
Home Alone! Spider-Man, Home Alone. Christmas special.
Yeah.
We see in there that they're kind of very ruthless, and then we see them in Ms. Marvel, and they're kind of more ruthless and more bad guy.
But it seems like there's a fringe.
Next one? Yeah, is this now the next one where we're going to learn that the DODC really are bad?
We've been looking for a supervillain, in essence. You know, a kind of a dark, shadowy figure who's running his own thing. But if you think about what we've seen,
the government.
We've seen an organised group of mercenaries armed with tech.
Yep.
Attack She-Hulk. Then, when that didn't work, an attack of that way, they found her vulnerability as Jen and sent someone in like a honey trap.
Yeah.
Which again feels organised. You know, think about the CIA, MI5, MI6, things like that. That's the sort of thing they do.
I remember in the last episode, we saw that they were actually had cameras like drones or something watching her.
Yeah. So there is a level of technology, there's a level of information, and there's a level of money there. You know, that was a laboratory full of scientists in that little scene we saw.
Yep.
And they seem to have access. One of the things I didn't mention on last week's podcast, of course, was it looked like it was vibranium. You know, the big stuff from Wakanda. Yeah. I looked at that and thought, wow, that's how have they got access to that? And so my gears of my brain have started going over. And when I saw him put his phone down on hers and it's like a tech thing, yeah, that's where my head's gone. Kaylee, now I've said all of that, what are your thoughts? Once it was established he was a bad guy, where were your head? Other than let's kill that son of a bitch. Let's, you know, where's your head on it?
Oh, absolutely gutted.
See, it's so funny. I watched it and I knew she would be.
Yeah.
Like I watched it, I was like, oh no, Kaylee. I'm not like poor Jen, but I was like, Kaylee needed this. She needed men to be okay for once.
Yeah, I felt so sorry for her. And actually, when it gets to the end of that scene, I was furious. Yeah. Absolutely furious. It was so problematic towards the end.
Yeah.
You know, taking that photo, what a creep.
Yeah, the photo
like, what are
was weird.
Repercussions of that? Like, but these things happen in real life to women all the time, and it's absolutely disgusting. And I wonder whether the repercussions of, you know, him taking her phone and being able to track her phone and that photo is going to come back and bite her on the bum. And maybe that's season 2. I don't know, but there's going to be more. But it was vile. I was fuming.
Well, we have 2 episodes left in this season.
Yeah.
We are aware there will be a cameo in one of these episodes, possibly both, from Daredevil.
Yep.
I want to watch Matt Murdock beat the crap out of this guy, like full-on Netflix Daredevil style, holding him on the ground, ropes taped around his fists, and just punching him until his skull cracks.
Do you know, I'm kind of over the whole Daredevil bit now.
You're like, what? Sorry, say that again.
I'm over the Daredevil bit in this season now. I don't care anymore. If he turns up, he turns up. I want to see the group of crazy misfits come and help her. Titania, join, be an ally. You know, go and help her. That's what I want. Daredevil, if he turns up, fine.
I feel that the Daredevil thing has been ruined by dickheads. So, for example, I'm a fan of that character, so therefore I'm excited to see him enter the MCU properly.
Yeah.
We saw Matt Murdock in No Way Home.
Homecoming, one of them.
Seeing Matt Murdock as Daredevil. And also, I want to see Matt Murdock, the lawyer, interact with Jen, the lawyer.
Yes.
I mean, like, that all of that excites me. So knowing that that's coming is exciting to me. But unfortunately, as Kaylee's just touched on then, the vast majority of people who are really enjoying this show are sick to death of hearing the word Daredevil, because every knuckle-dragging moron's like, oh, I'm only watching it for Daredevil to show up.
Oh, I've got to be honest, social media at the moment has done me in with this, because there are so many people, like TikTok, there are so many people on TikTok, they're like, an episode of She-Hulk airs, and their instant view is, oh, Matt Murdock wasn't in it, what a crap show. Well, Matt Murdock's not in it, because the show's called She-Hulk. Yeah, it's not called Daredevil Born Again. That's coming out next year. Wait for it. Watch She-Hulk. Enjoy She-Hulk.
It is painful,
Stop
isn't it?
Yeah.
It is painful because the thing that aggravates me is, like, I've just mentioned, and this, Kaylee, this is not against you, but it's like I've mentioned that because I'm excited about it, and your reaction is like, oh, that's kind of like, that's kind of killed it for me. But that's not because of you. That's because of every freaking asshole who's kind of made it about that. It's like a show. It's called She-Hulk. Guess what? It's about She-Hulk, her journey, Jen's transformation, her character development through a whole 9-episode arc.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
He'll have his moment, and I want to see that. I think it's going to be great. But
and that's it. That's all that's what I want. So when I mention it, I'm just kind of like, I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. And when I just said then about Matt Murdock, that's because of Netflix. That'll never make it on Disney+.
Oh God, no! There's stuff that happens in that show that will never make it.
Yeah, the way I want I like almost fourth wall break where she says he's going to drag his ass to Netflix and beat him. Yeah, bring that on.
Yeah.
Never happened, but it'd make me laugh. So here's another thing as well. Was there a fourth wall break this week?
I don't think so.
No, there wasn't. First episode.
Oh, we are officially claiming Nikki Ramos broke the fourth wall last week. We are
that was
on board with this, aren't we?
Wait, because that was the thing I want to end on. So, is there anything else from this episode, Kaylee, you wanted to chat about before I move on to that final point?
Yeah, just one thing, because I thought it was so funny.
Bring it on.
And it did tickle me. So at the beginning, when she's going through the he's not text me back kind of montage, did you notice this program that she was watching?
No.
She was watching the Muppets.
Yes, Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
And it was Miss Piggy. But the thing that made me laugh is in that movie is Kermit the Frog sings "It's Not Easy Being Green," and I thought that was hilarious.
There you go.
Well played, Disney.
Kaylee is on the ball.
It was so good.
This is why you should be making a TikTok content for sure. That had gone down well.
Yes.
Stefan, were there any other points and pieces you spotted you want to talk about?
The only thing actually I wanted to quickly mention was actually something the wife brought up, not me, because I was just kind of like, oh, what an arsehole, he's done that at the end of the episode. And the wife turned to him, how did he get her blood without her noticing?
I don't think it was blood that he took, which is why it was so disgusting.
Oh, whoa, oh, okay, yeah, hadn't gone, okay. Yeah.
Now, do you see why I was so riled up?
I had not gone down that route. I had gone for the whole, when the heck did he stab a syringe in her and get blood out with that? Oh.
I must fight every urge to stop making a stabbing her joke.
Yeah.
Must fight the urge.
I kind of want this last little bit edited out. Oh, I hadn't gone down that route.
Yeah.
I should let you guys talk off air before we start, just to clear some stuff up, because these discoveries live.
Oh man, no. Oh, men are.
Yeah, men are awful. Yeah, men are the worst. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, no, I can't defend that.
That was DNA, not blood. That is what we're going with. Right, let's move on. Okay, yep.
The one, okay, because we're in this conversation.
My wife is never getting a mention again.
Because we're in this conversation, I do think it's interesting because, Kaylee, you're right. I got, that was where I thought it was as well. I thought that was what he was kind of bragging about. He does put in that message a blood symbol, though. And what I'm kind of, I don't know, intrigued about is where they go, because we know, like, Bruce's biggest fear is Hulk blood being taken by someone, that's nefarious means or anything like that. There is a rumor, by the way, that Bruce Banner will be in the finale, which will be kind of interesting if that's true, because of course he went off on that ship. So it's going to be kind of intriguing if he's back, or whether it's just perhaps a phone call, long distance.
Satellite phone.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was sort of going to ask a question about what we think is going to be next, but I think it's the situation for that's too messed up. I think I just need to go and sit alone for a while now.
Yeah.
So the final thing then is, in the previous episode, and we did a TikTok about this. If you don't follow us on TikTok, please find us, because we're really funny.
We are.
Yeah.
True story.
Content, funny, yes. I'm sort of on the fence about this. There is definitely a moment where Jen's best friend looks at the camera. It's there. It's definitely there. She's having a conversation about that website, and they're going over it, and then she does look at the camera, but it is glance. It is not like a prolonged fourth wall break of, it's a look at the camera, then look away straight away. It could just be an editing error.
Now, I've seen something I've seen on this.
Yeah.
Remember in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness?
Yes.
Wanda looks up very quickly. She's at the sink. She looks up, looks directly at the camera for a split second and walks away. And the whole world went, oh my God, that was amazing. That's so Sam Raimi. That's amazing. Like, the obvious look to the audience. That's incredible. Wow, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
Almost the exact same thing happens in this. And everyone goes, well, that was a crap editing error, wasn't it? But it's like, it's almost exactly the same sort of thing. It's just that quick, obvious glance at the camera. Now, is it a case of if more people were, in quotations, enjoying She-Hulk, and not the knuckle brigade of Daredevil's not in it, would more people have gone, that was a really subtle, important moment, we need to click onto that more? And would we have less of the, well, that was crap editing, wasn't it? Is it the way people are viewing the show and their thoughts of the show have kind of taken that? Because for me, Nikki looking up at the camera in that conversation, it was either something quite sinister, or it was something as simple as, like I'm not going to tell my best friend this. It could have been either way, but something like that, it was so obvious.
Something that's been pointed out to me, and I must admit I didn't pick up on it. In the previous episode, so we're now 2 episodes ago, Jen breaks the fourth wall in front of her and talks to the camera and makes a joke. She laughs. I never picked up on it.
Oh, I didn't.
But people have put a clip together. So that means she's acknowledged the fourth wall twice.
Oh, it's Agatha.
Once by laughing. Yeah. So, just to be clear, it's Mephisto. Just so everyone knows.
She was wearing the necklace, wasn't she? The necklace had the kind of look like the covenant stuff on it. Oh my God, Nikki Ramos is a witch.
Kaylee, what do you think? Do you think I'm overthinking it?
No, I don't know what the outcome will be, but it was definitely intentional. And I wasn't convinced on that when I first watched it. But when you watch it back, that's purposefully done. Yeah. And I want to know why. And it's the kind of thing that will keep me awake at night until I find out.
I love that.
So I will leave again now. She's going to be fuming.
I will leave everyone with this bit of information and make of it what you will. In the comics, Agatha Harkness has a son. His name is Nick.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Anyway, massive thank you to Stefan, who managed to get through this whole show without vomiting. You're a hero, a legend to all. Thank you very much. Massive thank you to Kaylee, who joined in and brought a wonderful perspective once again. Thank you. We are done. We are out. We will be back next week to talk about She-Hulk episode 8. Keep an eye on all our social media for all the shows we talk about. Please, please, please do join us on Discord. The more of you that are there talking to each other, the less I have to be there, because it's scary. Stefan, say goodbye to everybody.
Hulk out.
Kaylee, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Blonsky, tell me about your favourite chicken, buddy.
Did get a jolt from an electric fence earlier because my favourite chicken, Princess Silkfeather, was stuck.
Your favourite chicken?
Yeah, favourite chicken.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.